All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's us again, your favorite podcast. Today we have the big brother you didn't know you needed in your life. It's Yaedi. Yeah, when you hear me say yeah, that's a way in Congo. Some family use that to show respect to elders, like siblings, if you want. So that's why I say yeah, Eddie. But he's here and spending some time with us today. He's gonna introduce himself and then we'll go from there. We're gonna hear about his coming to America and all the goods, the bad, and the ugly. So we welcome Eddie and please
Hey, thank
keep
Welcome.
the
you.
floor.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to join you. I've watched you guys, and this is a
Thank you.
big pleasure to join you all. Um,
Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, I know Gilda for a long time. She's my
Yeah.
little sister here, so no need to
Mhm.
introduce myself to her, but to introduce myself to all of you girls. Um, I'm gonna have to talk about my childhood a little bit so you can understand where I come from. Okay.
Okay.
I am from the Congo, same as Gilda.
Mhm.
There are two Congos. You have Congo Brazzaville. I'm from Congo Kinshasa.
Yeah,
Okay,
just like me.
Congo Congo Kinshasa is the big one. Okay, the second biggest country in Africa.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I'm from Congo Kinshasa.
Mhm.
Um, to introduce myself, as I said, talking about Congo Kinshasa would be a reminder for the people who know Africa's history, where we stand today and where we stood yesterday. I was actually born a few years after the independence of the
Uh-huh.
Congo, yeah, which was a time where I consider it like a time where Congo was good. Okay, no
Mm.
matter what people say,
Mm-hmm.
I came into the world in a place that was much better than today.
Then what it
Yeah,
is.
and I
Yeah.
came into the world in a beautiful neighborhood. I mean, the most beautiful neighborhood in Kinshasa at the time. The
Mm-hmm.
people who know Kinshasa, it's called Gombe,
Okay.
Kalina.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born in Gombe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my early childhood. Okay, I'm talking about when I was very young. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like my mom always told us that we had a good time. Okay, we were living a good life. Nothing was really complicated. We could go to school by bus, by car, or on foot. Everything was safe and secure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my dad was in the police. He was a police detective at the time, and he was really into it. Even very young, I could see that he was really into his job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was very strict, and that's the reason why I said, sometimes you go back in time to find out where you come from because he was extremely strict, which
Mm-hmm.
led me to the life I have today. I become in a way lenient because of his strictness, with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
and in certain ways, I'm also very strict, just like he was. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you guys go ahead and ask some questions before we continue because it's a long story. Mhm.
We are here
So,
for the story.
Okay.
so when
Well,
when when did you get to the point to move to America? How did that come about?
well, talking about where I was at that time,
Mm-hmm.
nobody had a need to leave the Congo at the time. Okay,
Mm-hmm. True.
but when it got a little later in life, the Congo started going bad. Okay, I went to live in a military camp with my dad. And that's when we felt like, the Congo is changing. It's becoming worse than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
And we started thinking of moving away just to get the education and go back. That was in the 80s. Okay. So my
Mm-hmm.
dad decided that I should go to France, go study in France.
Mm-hmm.
But my uncle who was in the US said, no, it's best that, you come to the US and study here. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I decided to come to the US because of my uncle who was already here. He
Oh,
was,
okay.
yeah, he was in Paintsville, Kentucky, a small town of about 4,000 people at the time. So
Yeah, we're good. Okay. So what state did you live in? What state did you get into?
when I got here, because my uncle was in Kentucky, in Paintsville, Kentucky,
Oh, okay.
I landed there. So I got to Kentucky, but
Mhm.
because it was a small town, no universities, no colleges, we had to go study outside of Kentucky. So I
Mm.
went to study in Cleveland, Ohio. For people who know Case Western University, that's where I went. But
Cold.
Mm,
it was too cold for
I
me.
know.
I couldn't take it.
That's all I can think of. Cold.
Oh my God. I mean, we had to live in a hotel, and the hotel was by Lake Erie.
Oh my
After,
God.
we could not
Why?
take it.
Oh my
So
goodness.
we made a phone call. Actually, my uncle made a phone call to somebody in Florida. Okay,
Mm.
said,
wow.
family friend, can you find them a school in Florida because we need to find relief for them. So that's how we ended up in Florida.
Oh,
Ah.
okay. You need
So
to
how
find
old were
something like
you?
home. Yeah.
When I got to the US, I was still very young. I got to be 18 when I got in the US. Okay,
Oh,
like a
wow.
month before I
Wow.
was 18. So it's
Mm.
So
been a long time.
who did you travel with to come to the
My
US?
brother,
Okay.
my
Mm.
brother, I call him my
Mm.
twin brother because all my life I've been with him. We were college roommates. We grew up together.
Oh,
Even now, he lives, 10 minutes away from my house. So
that's true.
I've been with him all my life.
Oh, wow.
That's true. Oh. And did you had any idea of what to expect when you came, or did you had any dream? What was your dream when you came here?
It's weird because my dream was to become a pilot, an airline
Oh.
pilot. So
Wow.
growing up, all I did was, think of, being a pilot.
Mm.
And when my dad felt like it was getting serious, he said, no, let me pull him on the side and tell him,
Mm.
listen, too many risks, okay? Choose something else. So
Oh.
I decided to become an engineer. And because I was so much into planes, I
Mm.
decided to do aeronautical engineering. But
Oh.
Nice.
then I realized, oh my God, it's going to be too much money. It was going to be expensive.
Mhm.
Mm.
It's more expensive to do aeronautic than any other engineering. So that's
Mm.
Oh.
why I switched over to electrical engineering.
Mm.
Wow.
So that was the beginning of my life story in terms of academics.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And how long did that take you? How long did the whole
What
and did you go ahead, sorry.
When you get to the US, as you guys did, for
Uh-huh.
the ones who were from different parts of the world, the first priority is to learn English.
Mm.
So the
Mm.
first few years
Oh.
was, learning English. So when I finished learning English, then I decided to go into electrical engineering. But because of cost and other things, I said, well, let me start with a Miami-Dade college. It was a little bit cheaper than Florida
Mhm.
International University at the time.
Mhm.
So I went there for 2 years, got my associate in electrical engineering, and then switched over to Florida International University to get my bachelor.
Were you working as you were going to school? Were you doing
No,
other?
I came in on an F1 visa,
Yeah,
so there
yeah,
was no
that's
way
true.
to work. But
Yeah.
I was
Even
a I was a I was a rebel because I wanted to work so bad. All my friends worked, but I could not do it.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I, I had
Mhm.
a lot of friends from Nigeria and Ghana, and they found a way to work. And some of them
Mhm.
worked on campus, and some worked outside campus, but we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Oh.
it's good. It helps you focus though, right? Like you really truly focus on your school, I guess.
It's a plus because you have so much time on your hands, but the time could also be misused, as you
Yeah.
That's
know.
true.
And
Yes.
at that age, all you thought about was partying, going out, and so
Mm.
you fill the
Mhm.
time with something else. And
Mm.
Yeah.
I wish I could, if I go back in time, and if I have to talk to my kids, I don't want them to sit idle because you fill the time with something else. Above all, in Miami, Florida, so much to do. You
Yeah,
end up on the beach, you end up on
that's
soccer
true.
field. There is always something to do.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's true. We
So
Yeah.
that
say
time
back
is not
home in Kenya,
spared.
we say
Yes.
that an idle mind is a devil's workshop back
Yep.
home. Yeah,
Yes.
say that too.
True.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's true.
Exactly.
Wow. And then after you graduated,
Was it easy to
When I
find a job? Go ahead.
when I finished school,
Mm.
I decided to stay in Florida. My brother moved to Kentucky, where my uncle was. I was by myself in Florida. I said, "Well, I'm gonna stay in Florida, but I want to go to business school. I wanted to do business." So I went to speak to an advisor. The people that remember a long time ago, you had before you did anything, you spoke to your advisor.
Mm-hmm.
So I spoke
mhm,
to my advisor and told him what I was gonna do. And he said, "Listen, I'm gonna advise you if you're gonna go into business, you have to decide why you're doing it." I said, "Well, I want to become a manager." He goes, "Well, if you're gonna do business management, I suggest you just go into it. And 3 years of management would be the same as a master's in business in terms of experience." So I went to in school. You had these places you could go look for a job, okay, like a job center. So I went in there, checked, and I found a job for a corporation called Southland Corporation that was looking for manager. So called them up, went for a job interview, and I called my family. I said, listen, I got offered a job as a manager. So coming out of college, I just, became a manager of
a manager.
right away.
So that was with your engineering degree?
With my engineering degree, but I left my engineering degree to become a manager.
Oh, interesting.
So I took a pause for a few years. I had a friend from Algeria who was also a business manager. So he got me convinced to stay with them for a few years. So I stayed as a manager in Florida. I managed a bunch of stores from West Palm Beach to Key West. I was young, but I was good. So they would send me to places that were in trouble. Okay, like Key West would be in trouble, and they would call me up and say, "Okay, go manage 3 stores in Key West," and they put me up in a hotel and pay for everything. I was stay there for 6 months. I was single, and manage the stores, get them back together, and go back. And they'll give me a certificate or something of appreciation.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It's funny. It's interesting how you just come out of school and you become a manager.
That's what I'm sitting here thinking.
You don't have a back,
I had
experience or anything. They just like,
Yeah.
No, they gave you training. When they hired me, they sent me to the west coast of Florida to be trained. So I was there for a month getting trained. So
I figured the training, but I'm just thinking like I remember one time I met this lady. I think they were desperate to get a director of nursing or a manager. No, it was a manager for the weekend. They were desperate. And I just had my license as a associate in nursing. And she was like, well, you want to be a manager? I'm like, are you crazy? No, I'm not doing that. I said, I need to get my feet wet first, because I felt like if I go in without the experience, they will run me over, So I was like, I'm going to step back. And so different field, different, ideas.
Yeah, you have to be trained for it because you have to deal with so many personalities.
That's true.
What I found out was even different cities had different personalities. I had to you had to hire, you had to fire, you had to do the loss and profit reports, you had to deal with the upper management and all that. So you had to do everything by yourself. So they gave you a bunch of training to do it, and school also helped because in school we took some business classes which helped.
And that's like early 20s, is it?
That was in the early, oh no, hey, Gilda, you were still young. That was in the early 90s.
No, I'm saying like your age. Were you in your early 20s?
I was in my
that's what I meant.
I was in my early 20s. Yeah, I was probably 20, 22, 23. I was very young.
That's a big responsibility. And you did it good.
I did it well. I mean, I remember that I still have the certificate to show for it, but I did it well enough for me to remember one day we're sitting in a big office, big room, not like a ballroom. They brought in all the managers from northern Florida to southern Florida, and we all sitting there, and all of a sudden the upper managers got really serious. They said, we have a big issue going on here. One of the managers has been stealing from the company. He found a way to steal without them knowing for months. And one of the top managers came to me and said, listen, I'm giving you all the keys to go to his store in Key Largo, count all the money. They're going to send somebody to do the inventory and then report back to us. So I was freaking out because I knew the guy. So I go down there. I took a friend of mine. I think you remember Celeste Mukubu. I called him up. I said, listen, come with me to Key Largo. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick inventory, deposit the money, and then we can go back. So I went and counted all the money, put it in the bank, and the guy was arrested. So he came back the next day. He said, listen, the money that Eddy deposited was less than was supposed to be there because nobody had an accounting of what was in the safe. And the upper manager said, no, we trust him. That's why we sent him there.
Wow.
So whatever he says was there, that's what was there. Yeah. But, imagine if I wasn't trustworthy, I could have gone, taken everything. Nobody would know.
And then,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility.
That's I'm curious, for a 20-year-old, what are the skills? What is it that you think they saw in you to give you that opportunity? Like if you were to tell a young kid, like this is what they saw, and that this is what I brought to the table.
Yeah, I still go back to it today, okay? And that's what's lacking in Africa. But I always talk about integrity. Yeah, to do a good job, you really have to be honest. That's the first thing that they see in you, because everything else comes second to that. Okay, you have to be very honest. You have to have a lot of integrity, because the job skills you can acquire. All of us went through a bunch of training. We went through the same training, all of us. But looking at all the managers in the ballroom, they chose you because they felt like you were honest. And that's what they trusted more in me than anybody else.
What about management skills? What are those skills that you feel like either must have or can be trained to be able to succeed in that role?
You have to have human skills. Okay, you have to be able to read people. You have to be able to tell when somebody is in pain or is happy or is overjoyed. You need to be able to tell. And also you have to know how to do positive reinforcement. Okay, most managers nowadays only do negative reinforcement. Okay, they only yell at their employees. Okay, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do this. Why didn't the most skill that I learned from the trainings I had was how to do positive reinforcement. Okay, so somebody does something bad, you look at the good and the bad, and you amplify the good. And when you're amplifying the good, you tell them what they can fix that's bad. And that really helped me a lot in life. Even today, it still helps me.
That's
I feel like
important.
that will work with my kids too.
You can work in any setting, yes.
That's
definitely.
True. That's true.
But it's true. Instead of focusing on the bad all the time, tell me,
Yes.
do you see when I do good?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very
That's the most
encouraging.
important part of management. And that's the hardest part. Because not only do you have to know how to do it, but you cannot also fake it. Okay. You cannot just go to somebody and say, listen, you're doing a good job when they're doing a bad job.
That's true.
So you really have to observe first, pay attention to what they do, learn who, their skills, and then grade them internally before you say it.
I love that you come in, you don't know how to speak English, and then you get such an opportunity. This is what is awesome for people to hear. Like, you don't have to come in a perfect package.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, true. It's really I look at us, okay? When I talk about us, I'm talking about Africa, okay? I'm not talking about everybody, but Africans have the toughest time adjusting because we lived for a long time under a colonial system. And when we live under a colonial system, we don't do what comes naturally, okay? What comes naturally is supposed to be every human being is equal, yeah? Whether you're white, black, or Asian or what. But somehow African people, when they come to the US, they don't know that internally they feel like the white man is more or is superior in some ways. So for you to compete with somebody in your back of the mind, you're thinking they're superior to you, it's hard, okay? We have to get rid of that. And we see it even in our politics today. We always in the Western world begging them for money, asking them for help. We're still living in a colonialist system up to today. So that was the hardest part for me, to come in and leave all my prejudices behind and be able to compete at the same level. And that's what I feel like is the biggest challenge I've done in my life. Yeah.
I love it. Right?
Yeah.
I love it. It's like I want to be somebody to stand on a mountain and preach that, because we do come here and we feel like we cannot meet their standards, but they're everybody's standards. They're not just their
Exactly.
standards.
And a lot of time you live so much better back home, and you come here, you find yourself starting at the bottom and you're like, wait, I'm not used to this. And, so you gotta know.
It's also the way they treat you, because nowadays, okay, you have a lot of people that came from third world countries that, here. When I got to the US, you could barely see any Black Africans. We knew all of us on campus because there was nobody. Okay, today you go on campus, you have a bunch of, Black Africans and all that, but today you don't. I mean, that time you did not. So the fight was more of a challenge at the time, because not only did you have to leave your prejudices behind, but even the people talking to you had a lot of, baggage. And they would come to you one day, in school, one of them came to me and said, do you really guys sleep on trays like we usually hear? And questions like that were frequent. They
Yeah.
really looked at us like, the people they see on TV. And on TV,
Yeah.
they saw only National Geographic. Okay.
Yeah.
So we had to fight a lot of prejudices in the beginning.
And that's, sometimes, that's the media. That's what they shown. That's all they know, sometimes. And that's what I love about now, because so many are going back home and they're learning for themselves, and they're understanding that, oh my God, it's not what I see on TV. So I think there's
Yes.
really a switch that has been done with the new
Yeah.
generation. Yeah.
Yes, it's much better than it was before.
Oh, I can
There is a
imagine.
new wind. I call it a new wind blowing again, where people are trying to go backwards, but we have to overcome it like we overcame it in the past. But yeah, now at least people know. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Africa is
No.
not the same everywhere.
Yeah.
So people know that.
No, so much better.
And
Yeah.
this platform, right? This is what it is for them to know that we really do come well packaged in our own way.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
we apply ourselves.
Yeah, we do.
I congratulate you for this because yes, we have to be proactive. And this is being proactive, not waiting for somebody to paint your picture. You are painting it yourself, So
Yeah.
in here we can talk about the positive side of the diaspora.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And there's so many. You see, like we have so many episodes. Sometimes I'm like, and with guests, sometimes I'm like, wow, that just show how many people are out there doing good, and people just don't know. So
Yeah, I have a story to tell you guys. Talking about management in the beginning of my career, because I was managing stores, as I said, one day one of the district manager came by, and he got really upset at my people, okay, at the time, and finally came to talk to me, and he was really aggressive. And at the end, he tells me, "You have to be thankful for the job you have."
Oh,
I said, "Why?" He goes, "Yeah, you have to be thankful. You're a manager. Where else would you be a manager? Be happy. Okay, enjoy this job." And it made me really upset because in his mind he was saying that this is the top level that you can get to.
yeah.
And that's the day I quit. I told him, "Listen, you don't know who I am. You don't know what my ambitions are. You don't know what my passions are. And I'm still very young." So I gave him back the badge. I gave him back the key. I said, "I quit." And he really looked at me and goes, "You quitting?" I said, "Yeah, I'm quitting. I'm done."
I love it.
I left. And that's how I left my first job.
Yeah, you gotta know what you're worth. Yeah.
Yes.
You gotta know your worth. Absolutely. I agree.
It's so interesting how many of our guests have come across people who try to dim their light just because of who we are and what our accents and all that.
Yeah.
It's universal.
Sorry, Marcy, you had a question.
Yeah, it's universal.
No, I was gonna ask, so how long did you stay in that field, like managing?
I was a manager. I mean, I'm still a manager in certain ways. Since I left school, I've been a manager all my life.
Managing.
Yeah, I've been managing all my life. I've been an exec all my life. But that first job, I did it for 3 years.
Okay.
So for 3 years, I did. That was my first part because I took the advice from the advisor. So I stayed for 3 years. And then when that manager came and told me what he said, I just left.
And how was the process of getting a new job after that one?
It wasn't hard. I mean, I was an engineer. So I went and applied for, I don't know if you know the company Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin was in Florida building conveyor belts for post offices. And even today, you still use them in many, many post offices. So we were the first ones to go and build those, design them and build them. So they brought me in on a contract and work with them to build those conveyor belts in Florida. And then 1 year later, they said, "Well, we have to go to Louisiana. So come with us." I said, "No, I'm not moving." So that's why I stayed behind. But I left from there to go to Lockheed Martin.
You just love the weather in Miami. You were like, I'm not going anywhere else.
I didn't want to move. For some reason, I had a house. I bought a house. I bought my house. I was 24 years old.
Oh, okay.
wow.
So I bought a house in Florida. So yeah, so I was stuck in Florida at that time.
Got
So
mortgage payment.
Yes.
Oh, wow, they were so young.
I was very young. I was young. I remember when when some of my family, members would come and, they would push me to get married because they said, my God, you're young, you have a house, you're
House, I
not
know
married
what.
yet. As all African parents, yeah, go ahead and get married, It's like, yeah.
So how did you
You are
stay
driven.
grounded? Yeah. How did you stay?
Yeah.
I say, how did you stay grounded being young in Miami, all these women, the parties and life is great.
Yeah.
Like, how do you at that age stay grounded and say, oh, the parents are like, you better not mess up. We didn't send you there for nothing, I wonder.
It's a good question. It was hard. I'm not gonna say it was easy. It was hard. We all went through it, all of us at that time, but I had a plan in mind. Okay, my plan was I knew exactly when I was gonna get married. Not in the sense that I knew when I was gonna fall in love. No, but I knew I had to be a certain age to feel like I'm mature enough to get married. Okay, so my age at that time was 29 years old. I figured if I get married before I'm 29, I'm missing something. It's like I'm not there yet. I'm not mature enough. So I waited until I got to that age to really become serious about relationships.
That's funny you said that. I always say that 30 for me. A man that's 30, to me, he's ready. He's done it almost all, or at least he's not looking for the crazy, in life. So yeah.
You have to understand, you women get mature, faster than men.
Quickly.
Yeah. So for us, it took a long time to get you to feel like you're old enough. If you're 27, 26, some people are different, but for me it felt like I had to take 2 more years for me to really feel like, okay, I'm not gonna look anywhere else. I'm gonna meet somebody I'm gonna stay with forever.
Cool. Yeah. And when did that happen for you? At 29 or after?
29 exactly.
Oh,
that's
that you met?
29 exactly. That's when I met my wife.
Oh, wow.
Elise. I went to my brother's wedding in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's a funny story because I always believe in destiny, and I feel like, well, it was destiny because I got to church just before Christmas. They had a Christmas session at night, and I'm sitting there with my family because the wedding was supposed to be on the 27th. So all of us were there, and this woman walks in, and I didn't even look at her, but my cousins looked at her, and I go, "Oh, that's a beautiful woman that's walked in," and they were talking so much about her that finally I looked, and I see her holding a baby. So I said, well, yeah, but she's taken, so why are you wasting your time? My sister-in-law was there, Shushu, heard it, and said, oh, no, she's not married. So the next day, she went looking for her and said, guess what? My brother-in-law was checking you out in church. But she didn't care. She just didn't care. So I started looking for her, slowly but surely, went back to Florida, and tried so many times to talk to her, but she would not talk to me. She just... She was 21 at the time, so
she was 21.
She was 21, so she was young. She was very young. But one day I got into a car accident, and my sister-in-law told her, "Listen, Eddy got into a car accident." That's the one time she goes, "Oh my God, I need to call him." So when she called me, that's when I said, "Okay, I got you." So we spoke for 2 hours, and then that was the beginning of
everything, of eternity. And she's awesome. You gotta meet her. They just were meant for each other, I would say.
Oh, that's awesome. Great.
She's great. Yeah.
So Lockheed Martin moved to Louisiana. So what was next for you?
Well, because I didn't want to move to Louisiana, I went looking for a job again. And sure enough, I found a company that was in the beginning, in Florida, they were doing a lot of data centers. And for people who are familiar with data centers, these are centers where, you manage a lot of computers and all that. And, I was really interested in it because that's where you find all the technology in one place, all of them. You have, people who you have, T1, DS1, T2, all coming together into one place. So I looked for that job, okay, and I got it. And when I started working, one day, like 6 months into the job, I get the phone call, and this person calls me and goes, "Oh, Eddy, you need to come see me. I have to do an interview for you." I go, "I'm not looking for a job." And he said, No, you have to come see me. And I was like, that's a mystery because I'm not looking for a job, but let me go listen to him. So I went to see him, And sure enough, he was a director of a big company that was doing telecommunications. And he said, listen, I'm looking for a director of IT, and I've seen your resume, I've seen it, and I want you to come join me. So I said, okay, yeah. So I went and joined them and did call center operations. For people who know phone calls, okay? In the beginning, everybody who had a phone had to pay monthly until you had the prepaid phone cards. Okay, so we were one of the first companies to do the prepaid phone cards, where somebody who had no credit could buy a phone, and you give them a $20 card or a $10 card, and they can use it for a month or 2 months and then recharge. So that's what we did, and I stayed for 5 years, 6 years with them.
Oh, wow. We've come a long
How was
way.
that job? Yeah, how was that job compared to hotel management and other things?
It was the same type of management because I had to manage a team of IT workers, of customer service reps, and all that. The management was the same. The difference was the technology. Now I had to manage not only people, but just to manage devices. I was my pager used to go off all the time because some of the switches we had were in Pennsylvania and they would go off, they would die or whatever. So you have to go travel or dial in remotely to fix them up. Yeah, we had a few switches in downtown Miami, in a big tall building. You had to go make sure, they're working and all that. So the management of the people were the same, but the job was kind of different because you had to manage devices.
And this was tapping into your true engineering degree.
That was true engineering. True engineering because you had to do switching, all that. Switching at that time was new for the type of switching that I did, because when you call into countries, for example, you get an operator. At that time, in the 70s, you get an operator that switched to somebody's phone. We at that time did automated switching, where everything, like today, when you call me, you have no idea who's switching you to my number.
That's true.
So that's what we did in the beginning to create all this automated programming.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So what do you do now?
Well, when I finished that job, okay, if you remember, like late 90s, that's what Clinton was still a president, and we had the dot-com boom. Okay, everybody started going into the dot-com, and it lasted a few years, and then it came crashing down. When it came crashing down, all the jobs that had to do with technology got in trouble. Okay, so I had to sit down and think hard, and I go, listen, for me to be safe in my future, I have to go not only into technology but go into medical field, because the medical field is the only part that's going to be stable.
Stable, yeah.
So that's how I left that job and applied for a job in programming, but medical devices. So that's how I started my current career. Yeah, because the job that I got at that time was for a company that did automated prescriptions. Okay, now when you go to the pharmacies and you order your prescription from the doctor, they send you to the pharmacy, and you get your medication. We were one of the first companies at that time to do electronic prescribing. And they had, these small little devices that you had to program, like, tablets and all that will send your prescription over and you go get it. So, but the company was too ambitious. You could tell. You walk into the company and you had anything you wanted, food, drink. They were spending like nobody. And everybody was traveling, except me. I'm lucky because out of my team, I was the only one that could stay behind. Okay, everybody traveled, so everybody came to work with a suitcase. And when you got to work, they would tell you, this is your plane ticket. You're going to Utah or you're going to North Carolina to do all these installs, and But because I was programming the system, they had me stay behind. So because they were too ambitious, the company didn't last. After 3-4 years, they went bankrupt. So
I can imagine.
I had to leave. And just lucky for me, again, one company called me, medical office software. They saw my resume programming those devices for Parkston Medical. They said, listen, come join us. And I joined them, and I went in the job as a programmer, a software engineer. A few years later, I became the director of IT, stayed with them, became the director of operations, and still stayed behind until I became the vice president of support services, which
nice.
I stayed until about 2012, until I switched over to my current company in the same function.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's
Very
This
interesting.
is what I want people to know. You can make it. You can succeed. You just apply yourself. You've been
Yeah.
also you've been a part of a lot of fasts.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah,
sounds like,
Yeah.
yeah.
you have to fight. It's not an
Mm.
easy fight, but you really
Oh.
have to fight. You have to keep on fighting. It's like a fight, a physical fight, and you can never ever give up, ever. Before I got my job in medical office software, I had an interview that shaped my life because I told my wife, listen, for the first time in my life, I was never ever laid off. When the company went bankrupt, we had to be out of a job. I was one of the last people to be let go, but they closed the door and they let us go. So I was out of a job for the first time, young married man, and I didn't know what to do. So before medical office software called me, I went for a job interview at Citrix, a company called Citrix.
Oh, I know Citrix, yeah.
You know Citrix, okay? So toughest interview in my job in my life. I had to do a interview in front of 10 different people as a group and then one by one. And they all had to say yes to you for you to join the company.
Yeah.
So went back home, I told my wife, listen, 9 of the 10 people looked good, but one of them, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And I didn't make it.
Oh,
So, you don't give up. No matter what you do in life, there are jobs you're gonna lose. You have to keep pushing forward.
you get up and go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
Does it get lonelier, Eddie, as they say, the higher you go?
It gets more complicated. It gets more complicated. I mean, I'll give you an
And the
example. Okay?
politics, huh?
Yeah. It you start feeling people's pain more than usual. Okay. In my current position, the president of the company, it's his company, he would come to me and say, listen, I need you to get rid of people, 2 or 3. Okay. And you feel the weight of it. You feel the pain. And in many cases, you can tell this person really needs the job. But if they're not pulling the weight, you have to let them go.
And
So
is this like I wonder, is this some people that he gave them so many chances and they just failed it and it's like, okay, now it's time to go? Because
yes,
okay.
yes. It's also cultural, no? My current company is based in Charlotte, North Carolina, close to where you are. But most of our workers are outside the country. They're in India, they're in Dubai, in China, places like that.
Yeah.
So when I got the job, the president of the company pulled me on the side and goes, listen, we have a cultural issue. When somebody tells you they did the job, check again. And after you finish checking, check it again. Okay.
Wow.
And I didn't believe him. I was like, come on, that's Africans. Okay. It's not anybody else. But then I felt it because many times I would ask them, have you done your job? Oh, yes, I've done it. Okay. And I say, show me the proof. And there was no proof to show. So they're very hard worker, the smartest people I've seen in my life. But in many cases, because of cultural issues, they don't apply the same techniques we've applied in the US. Okay, they don't do checklists the way we do checklists in the US. So in many cases, to answer your question, Gilda, it's not that they didn't do their job; it's they do it differently than we do it.
Yeah.
So
and I think they may think in their head that like I've done it, but it's like those are not the standard,
They are not the standard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's not. Working in a hospital, you can tell.
No, it's true. And I was just thinking, it just popped in my head. When I was going to nursing school, I can't remember which class it was, but it really does talk about the different culture, how maybe, us, African Americans and Africans, the time is not a thing, right? Like the appointment is at 10, people show up at 10:20 and get upset. It's like your appointment is 30 minutes and you're showing up 20 minutes late and you still want to be seen. There's somebody behind you. So it's like, I was like, oh my God, we even in books, this
It's
bad.
a big deal.
We get
It's
to
a
that
big deal.
point where we're in books. But I think it's just to teach people to understand certain people. And I see that at work every day. And I'm going to say African American and us because that's what I know the most, but it's not just us. There's a lot of people that are from different, background that will show up at different time and don't understand. When you tell them,
Yeah.
well, you're late, you're like 20
Yeah.
minutes into your 30-minute appointment. What do you expect?
Yeah.
So,
And it's normal. And
yeah.
I've dealt with a lot of Americans here. If they do something and you call them into your office and say, what did you do? They will tell you whether it's good or bad. Okay, you get the answer. And sometimes you get it in a very aggressive way. With Africans and Indians, you ask the question and the room goes silent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're
You
already
really have
thinking
to
I'm
get
in
the-
trouble.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So even just a normal question like, hey, who did this?
Mhm.
Quiet.
It's like, oh my
And
God.
yeah, it took me a while to get used to it because
Yeah.
sometimes, it makes you upset because I'm saying, I'm not getting the answers I want. Who has the answer? So it's cultural.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's another aspect that you have to deal with, just the different cultures and when you're making decisions. That's tough too.
It is a big factor, a very big factor. Okay, a
So
big
how
factor
do you get productivity out of them?
because they're excellent in terms of the way they do their job. Okay, they're very smart, very smart. So you have to constantly check, constantly do checklists and all that. Okay, productivity can be misguided in a sense that if you want, you have different projects. Let's say you have 3 different projects. You may prioritize the first one, but because of all the differences I'm talking about, they may not prioritize it the same way you do. So you have a lot of insisting. You have to keep on saying, this is where we're going. We want to do this first, okay? And I know you guys want to do this, but we have to do this first.
Do this one.
Okay. In the US, once you come into a setting and you say our priorities are priority number 1, number 2, number 3, taken down, and you go like that. With different cultures, no. Priority number 1 becomes 2 for them. So you have to constantly push back. You really have to push back. And because I'm so far away, you're managing from far away. Okay,
It's
so
hard.
a lot of the tools we use today make it like you understand more because you have for the people that know, you have different tools that let you see everybody where they are, where they're seated, how much production they're doing. To answer your question, you can tell by using those tools how productive they are, even how much time they're using at work. As soon as they come in, it tells you this person is here, and this one has stood up and went to the bathroom. You can tell.
Oh.
So it's very hard for them not to be productive.
Yeah. Big Brother is always watching.
Yeah. It's exactly that.
Because it's easy, if the boss is not physically present, it's easy to just like wander around and say, I have time. But it's good to have tools like that like, hey, you've been in the bathroom a little too long, like, get back here.
Yeah, you don't want to do it too much too, but at least you can tell when somebody,
But I think once you do that, though, they understand that, oh, wait a second, he's not as absent as I think he is. Like he can see. Yeah.
One of the tools we use when I say somebody has been slacking, it's actually called Slack.
Oh, really?
Slack is one of the tools you can
Slack,
actually, Slack. Yeah. So I guess that's where they got the name, to tell if somebody's slacking.
Yes, slacking. That's funny. Huh.
Yeah, I've heard of, so we use Slack at work too a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, really? I never heard of it.
It's part of life. Huh?
It's more IT kind of related, yeah? Like
It has
more
to be.
software development people, and that's interesting. So to soften things up, how do you manage your work-life balance, Eddie? You sound like a very busy man.
Oh, that's the toughest part of life. I have 2 kids. I have a daughter who's 22, and she thinks she's 35. Okay,
She does. She does. Well,
Gilda,
she does
Gilda
present
can
herself as 35. When you talk to her and you have conversation with her, you would not know she's 22.
Wow.
She really believes she's like, and I have a son who's 18. And she's finished college, but she's gonna go into law school. And my son has just started college. So I'm glad in my life I didn't have 8 kids like my parents did, because then it would be impossible to balance. With 2 kids, you can do it. Okay? It's easy to manage 2 people than to manage 8. My parents, I have no idea how they did it.
But they did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I think they are also back home in
Back
Africa.
home, the
You
support
have
is
more
different.
help. The
Yeah.
support system is
It's
there.
different.
True.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because we always had aunts,
And
uncles in the
somebody,
house,
yeah.
yeah.
They come
There's
without
always
you calling them, they just show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here you don't have that all the time, Everybody gotta work, everybody gotta do something. Yeah.
Yeah. So the way I do it, okay, if I have to say it on paper, is to plan everything out. Okay, like everything has to be planned out. And when you, like, for example, the call we're having, we had to plan it, okay, for a few weeks.
Yes.
You have to plan it out. If you don't, then of course you're gonna mess up. And you have to know 8 p.m. so day I have to be here. And if I'm not, then I'm gonna mess up. So it's just scheduling. But we have all the tools, no? Now we have phones that are smartphones. We have tablets and all that. They remind you constantly, So that helps.
Some people will tell you, like me, if it's not on my calendar, I may not do it.
It's not happening, yeah.
Yeah. But I do feel like you do have a good work balance, because some of the best party I went to when I lived in Ohio was at his house,
True. Because when I party, no, I say, hey,
Exactly.
I really
It's
believe
good
in that Bible passage that says, there is a time to quiet, a time to enjoy. You have to do that. When it's time to work, you work. When it's time to party, you party.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's good that I'm present for the moment. And
Yeah. That's the only way to live a full life.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you only quiet all the time, then you're missing out on the joy of life. So I really feel like, you have, as a human being, no, and I did Latin philosophy in high school. So I do a lot of philosophizing. And I always say to myself that, for you to live a full life, you have to live all aspects of life. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You have to do all that. And then you feel like you live the full life. You cannot also do too much of anything, because too much of anything becomes bad, no? So if you're studying too much, pull back. If you're reading too much, pull back a little bit, because something else is going to suffer. Even though reading is good, but because you're doing so much of it, then your kids are going to miss you. So you have to really do a lot of things at once, but pot them. Make sure you divide them very well.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at things.
That is a good way, yeah.
So I hear. Can I ask you a few questions, because I heard I'm gonna start with lawyer. Since my daughter is going to law school, what type of law do you practice?
I'm an immigration attorney.
Oh, you need it in the U.S. today.
Yeah, it's
She's busy. She's
There's a lot going on right now.
Oh yeah, you guys are making a lot of money now. I think all of you are voting for Trump.
Oh my gosh. Trust me, we are not enjoying this. It's tough. It's very tough. Yeah.
So do you feel like you have more customers today than you had 2 years ago?
For some types of cases, yes. We definitely have a lot more removal cases than we did before. But other types of cases, a lot of people are deciding not to submit anything and just wait it out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is also very dangerous, no?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
But then at least they don't put the weight of the decision on you, because if you advise them to go to a visit and they get arrested, you feel bad, no?
And I can't guarantee that it won't happen. So it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah.
Can imagine.
Okay. Well, congratulations, because you need it. And can I ask the analyst a question now? What type of analyst are you? What do you do?
I'm a sales and marketing data analyst. So I support most of the sales and marketing folks with their day-to-day data for their.
Really? What tools do you use?
Tableau, Power BI, Data Cloud, Salesforce, SQL.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you run some queries in the back end. Do you do
a
lot of data conversion and stuff like that?
Correct. Yeah. So I do a lot of querying. That is true. I work a lot with database developers for them to, kind of develop and manage my data. And then I do most of the visualization and querying. Huh?
How long you been doing this?
Ooh.
A long
Did you know?
time.
I,
Wow.
I
I'm sorry to put
know.
you on the spot.
No, that's okay. Actually, I started as a project manager in 2009.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got
16.
laid off. I know,
Mm.
right? I'm old. Oh my gosh.
Ah.
And then I got laid off. Did you maybe Eddie, you might have heard of Nortel Networks?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I worked for Nortel Networks for 4
Oh, you
years, and then
did?
I did, and then I got laid
Okay.
off, and then from there I kind of pivoted into analytics when the project management didn't work. So I was trying to scramble and find something to do, and somehow
Yeah.
I fell in it, and I loved it, and that's what I've done ever since.
Hmm.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you did that, and you also very needed, because as of our future plans in Africa, when I talk to the Congo, we have not a single data center in the Congo. So in the future, we're going to try to do some data centers.
Really?
And the most important job would be a data analyst, somebody who can compile the data, create databases, and do all that, because
Yeah.
we have no way of tracking anybody. Nobody has a profile in the Congo. So people just do what they do.
Yeah, I
So
think
That's true.
yeah.
Because
There's
I used to remember during COVID when I'm sure you have the same stories when you talk to people back home and they'll be like, oh, nobody's dying over here. You know,
yes,
it's just and I'm like, but who's keeping track? How do we know? Like who has
yeah.
the data?
No stats done. We have no idea what's going on. So let's say today in the Congo, there could be a major outbreak of any disease.
Yeah.
Most of the people that will do the analysis will come from the outside.
Yeah.
True.
And it's not that we're complaining, but we're just saying that we don't have it.
It
And
should be
for
local.
us to have it, we
Yeah.
have to plan it out. Yeah.
I agree. It should be local. I have a friend of
Yeah.
mine who is currently working with the Swaziland government because they're in the same case, and he's working with them to have some call centers and data centers opening over there for the same reason.
Wow. That's
Interesting.
It's a
Call me if
reality
you need
of life.
somebody
Come on
in
over.
Congo.
Move to
Definitely,
Congo. Move to
we will
Congo
call
with
you for
me.
sure. We will call you for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we need people to train the trainers.
I'll be there. I don't mind moving closer. Even if it's not Kenya, I'll move to Congo. It's close enough.
Closer, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. So
Close
the good
enough.
news is that nowadays everybody speaks English. So long time ago it was hard to go into the Congo and train people, but now most people are speaking English, so you can train easily. And you also have tools that you can speak in English and somebody understands it in French, like Google Translate and all that. So,
Translate.
That's true.
so we'll need you people.
Yeah, the barriers are broken in that way, at least in the language
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
And Gilda, what do you do now?
So
I need to go
me,
from zero, yeah?
so yeah, so for me right now I'm with the family medicine clinic. So I'm basically with your doctor, when you go for your physicals and stuff like that. I'm there, I'm the one, and sometimes I work in the lab because I do love drawing blood. Even though,
Okay.
they will not trust me with his
Oh.
arm.
Did you say you love drawing blood?
Yes.
I've never
Vampire.
heard this sentence in my life.
Right
This
there.
is the first time.
I absolutely, like when people shake my hand, sometimes I'll be like, ooh, nice vein.
Oh wow.
And they'll be like,
Wow.
yeah. So when the phlebotomy is off or anything like that, I usually will go in. And then if I'm not there, somebody else is also a backup. But I do, I always say if phlebotomy will pay as much as nurses, I may do that every day. I don't mind. I
Yeah, it's
really
actually a
don't.
talent because my veins are very small, and when I go get checkup, sometimes they have a hard time finding it. And once in a while, you have somebody like you who would come in and have the passion for
Unless
it,
I touch it.
and they would find it.
Oh,
And I always tell them, "How do you do
yeah,
it?" They go,
unless
"Yeah, I know how."
Yeah, and even the phlebotomist, sometimes when she has a hard time, she'll call me. She'll be like, hey, can you come
Really?
and take a look at that? Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But we do that. We give, it's not because I've done so much in different part of nursing. Like I've done the hospital, the nursing home, and so the family medicine is good for me. I feel like I can do that with my eyes closed. People come in, you go through their
Wow.
medication, You find out what's wrong with them. You do a little education here and there. Especially
Hmm.
people that are diabetes, you teach them how to inject themselves or, and educate them on how to do it well. There are so many, basically you focus on them on prevention, right?
Mm,
For them
Yes.
to be better so they don't end up at the hospital.
mm,
And then in case they do, then they are educated to know how to speak up for themselves as well. And
Hmm.
the thing to look for. So I
Mm-hmm.
really
Definitely.
enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's at peace. And sometimes I do what we call panel manager. So when you send a message to your
Yeah.
doctor don't get it right away. So the nurses will look at it and we triage it. So
mm,
because the
Mm-hmm.
doctor is seeing patient, right? So and you send
Yes.
it throughout the day while they're busy. So it'll come to somebody like me or another nurse. We'll read it. If it's something that we feel like, this person needs to be seen, not here at the urgent care or at the hospital, we'll call them. There was and we work with Citrix is one of our server for the Epic.
Okay.
Yeah, for Epic. So there's different thing. If you type let's say headache, and then there's a bunch of questions that will come up. And then you find out when it started, how bad is it, and is there any other symptoms? And then at the end, it will give you a disposition. This person should be going to the emergency department or should be
Yeah.
going to urgent care. So we go through those things and it's kind of helping the doctor in a way because you still have people that sit there be like, I'm waiting for the doctor to call me. Well, they're kind of busy seeing other patients. They won't be able to call you now, so that's why I'm there. Yeah. But I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy it a
You
lot.
guys are all needed. I didn't tell you
Yeah.
guys, but my job now, for the past, I don't know how many years, is creating what you call practice management systems and EMRs. And Epic is one of the
Oh.
EMRs.
Oh,
So that's what we
really?
do. Oh yeah, you didn't know, huh,
No,
Gilda?
well, if you look for somebody.
Yeah. No, that's what we do, and that's why now we're going into different countries in Africa, like in Kenya and Gambia,
Oh,
places
okay.
like that, because
Oh.
we figured they need EMRs, no? Because I don't know how they practice medicine without that. And when I hear you talking about
Mm.
panels and all
Let me
that and
tell you,
triage,
it changed a
yeah.
lot, especially if
Hmm.
and here, we have the three big hospital and all of them uses it. So if I'm seeing at hospital A and tomorrow I'm seeing at hospital B, they know what happened at hospital A.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yeah.
We avoid repeating the scans, you avoid repeating the labs, you avoid
mm,
repeating things, or ordering medication that was ordered somewhere else and that didn't work out. So you get to see those things. So it's really life-saving, like literally life-saving to have
Oh
mm,
yeah.
electronic medical record.
Oh yeah. Above all, when it comes to medication,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
when you talk about a lot of interactions, we call it drug interactions, no?
Mm-hmm.
So you take codeine and you go take another medication and it
Yeah.
interacts, the person
It will
dies.
tell you.
mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will tell you right away that, listen, this person took codeine already, you cannot give them this medication.
Yeah.
mm,
And not only that, the advice that you give to patients
It
when
does. Yeah.
when you finish the checkup, you go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and print
The
education
paper.
material.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you give it to them, and they go read it at home. That's life
Mm-hmm.
saving.
mm,
And
Mm-hmm.
all
Yeah.
that. It's a lot of work, and that's why Problem's so busy because we have to go through a lot of certifications, and every single year we have to go through certifications
Mm.
mm,
because the government wants you to be certified, and that's how they got rid of a lot of the EMR companies because
Mm.
the ones who could not certify were the bad ones.
The bad
So
one, yeah.
you have
Mm.
to certify. You have to make sure when you take a Schedule 2 drug, okay,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
the person does MFA
Yeah.
and multi-factor authentication because otherwise, it's gonna fail.
It
So
Yeah.
is.
you have to do certain steps before you can get through sending a controlled substance.
Yeah.
So all that is a lot of work.
And now you even have like if you give me, let's say codeine, right, in
Hmm.
Alabama, and I'm going to Ohio and I'm asking a doctor for codeine there. They have a system. You go online and you check when was the last time it was filled. Because, so those that are addicted used to do that. They'll go state to
Yes,
state and get it from different places. So now you
yes,
have a system that would,
exactly.
mm,
So you have what you call
you
PBMs,
cannot
no?
submit, you cannot write a prescription.
Yeah, you have what you call
Yeah.
PBMs,
Yeah. So you
and PBM,
cannot submit or write a prescription. Yes.
yes,
Yes. PBM. That's the one.
P,
Eddy, I need
yeah.
to be working with you.
See, we never discussed this, what we
That's
do
true.
on the side, so this is it. But yeah,
Yeah,
those
definitely. Yeah.
PBMs will check
Yes.
anywhere in the US, okay, even in Canada, what medications you already were prescribed.
Yep.
And they would tell the doctor right away.
Wow.
Yep.
And
It's
I'll
really
tell you
helpful.
a quick story. 2 years ago, I was extremely busy, and this doctor from Florida sends us a message saying, I saw your software. I really want to get involved. Usually we do give them a demo, and okay, we give them a demo. They say, I like it. Okay, let's go for it. I was kind of distracted, okay, because you don't check everything, but the team checks on it. And the team checked that the doctor wanted to do controlled substances, EPCS. There is a process that happens. You have to request it, then you have to do identity verification from a third-party company. They have to check his license to see if he's really a valid person. And then at the end, you give them, the data analyst will know what you call the MFA authentication so that they can do it.
Yeah.
So in this specific case, he got them to jump over certain steps. Okay. Like identity verification. So I'm sitting there and I see a bunch of messages coming through. This doctor ordered like 10 prescriptions at once, one after the other. And I say, why are they controlled substances? Something is wrong. So goes and requests that, to check the process. Of course, he was trying to cheat.
Yeah.
Okay? He wanted to do what you're talking about. He's a fake doctor who wanted to just get the license to prescribe.
Yeah.
So yeah, once you stop the process, you ask him to verify his ID, go through the process again. Of course, he failed. But imagine if he did not fail. That doctor could have become like a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Because he could prescribe codeine and all that. He could make money.
Oh yeah.
Selling it in the black market. But we caught him because of all the checklists that we have. Yeah.
Wow.
And you're saying you're trying to implement this back home in Africa now?
It's already there. Yeah, we're in Gambia, we're in Senegal, we're in Ghana, in multiple places. And because the system that we have now is what you call a browser-based system, browser-based that you can use. Long time ago, you had, I don't want to go into too much detail, but you had what you call a client-server system.
Yes.
Meaning you had to have a server in-house. And then you have clients attached to that server. So if you install it in Gambia, you had to go to Gambia and bring a server with you, a very expensive server, and install it in the hospital with a bunch of computers. Now we use a browser, the internet. We don't have to go to Gambia. We can install it here. And they connect, if they have internet, they connect, and then they can use it. So we can get somebody live tomorrow if we want to.
Wow.
So that made it easy for us to go to Africa. But of course, there are challenges. One of the major challenges is, they don't have internet all the time.
All the
They have
time,
internet everywhere. So you have to create a system that can work offline. So when they go to the villages, they take your system with them, but they enter the data and they come back home and then it connects and it updates. So yeah.
Wow. I have questions.
I know.
I'm not going to ask today because I'm thinking about data integrity at this point.
I know.
But that's a conversation for a different day.
It's a whole new call.
Yes, definitely. There's so much to talk about. Wow.
So much.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But I would like to hear more about this, Eddy. Maybe we'll catch up later at a different.
We can catch up definitely.
Yeah.
That's why I say we need you.
Yes, we do.
And nobody has ever interviewed us, guys.
I know, right? Sometimes I think we should do an interview of each of us.
I know, right?
I think that's a good point.
I think it's needed.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Absolutely.
Well,
do that.
This was fascinating. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, no, it was a pleasure. It was really nice to join you guys.
Yeah, but it looks like we may have a part 2 one of these days.
Yes,
we have so many questions. We left with so many questions.
No, it's good. It's always good.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you so much. And we'll see everybody next time.
Next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
For me, the sacrifice I have given to build the organization, because I volunteer. The board members that we have at the organization, they volunteer. And for them to volunteer, I have to be a true example of what I'm asking them to do.
Absolutely.
I have to do it exactly. And it's a more motivation that if Isaac can do this, and then, I want to be a part of this. And sure, you've been to our gala. I'm actually, before I forget, I am inviting all three of you and tell Nash. So Nash is a great supporter of Mass of Great Hopes. He doesn't show up because sometimes he has other projects, but he says, Isaac, here is my contribution. So tell him thank you. But 21st of February, it's a Saturday. We try to tie in Valentine into that space. So if you can skip the Valentine and come join us. But our vision with the organization is to revive, empower, and sustain hopes for the impoverished communities through clean water, sanitation, health, and education. Those are the umbrella is the clean water. And
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great one. Tell us a little bit more of some of the projects you've done, because I follow you. You don't know, but I follow. I go to the website. I check. I just see the work that you're doing, and it's really good work.